11 years ago, Moonrise Kingdom premiered to rapturous appreciation as the opening night film of the Cannes Film Festival.
I do remember that.
With an A-list cast that included Bruce Willis, Edward Norton, Bill Murray, Frances McDormand, and Tilda Swinton, as well as then newcomers Cara Hayward and Jared Gilman. In celebration of Wes Anderson's new film, Asteroid City, and its absolutely delightful success at this year's Cannes Film Festival, we are reuniting Moonrise Kingdom's two young stars to talk about their experience before, during, and after this Focus Features classic.
I could get out there and do this thing that I had never imagined myself doing. It's helped me endlessly.
The whole thing was just like a real surreal dream.
Welcome to After the Movie, Moonrise Kingdom. Hey everybody, I'm Dave Karger. Welcome to this episode of Focus Features After the Movie, where we are celebrating Wes Anderson's film, Moonrise Kingdom, by reuniting the film's two stars, Jared Gilman and Cara Hayward. Jared and Cara, great to see you both.
Oh, thanks.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
What's it like for the two of you to see each other? I mean, you went through such an amazing experience together at age 12. This is now 11 years later. Does it bring back instant memories when you see each other's faces?
Oh, yes. Jared has a beard now. That is shocking to me. I don't know why. As soon as you pulled off your mask, I was like, whoa, he's an adult. This is weird. Like, my most vivid memories of you, we are children.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, time happens, huh?
What do each of you remember about the audition process?
The first time I ever see Wes Anderson walking down a hall towards me stuck out to me. So I was like, that is the tallest human being I've ever seen in my life.
Was he wearing corduroy?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course he was. Of course he was.
So did the two of you ever have an audition together, or were you cast separately?
My first audition was September 2010. And then I don't think I found out that I got cast until I think it may have been late February or early March 2011. I had to do another 3 callbacks before I got the part.
Did you feel confident? Did you feel like you had it?
I think by the end of it, I'd been told they were rooting for me was I think what I had heard.
Oh, that's
but
great.
I didn't know I didn't know what that meant at the time. I didn't know but I was just like, oh cool, all right.
What direction are they leaning? Yeah.
But then, when I got it, I was just it was the most surreal day ever.
What about you, Cara?
I remember it pretty well. I remember the open call really vividly. I do remember the feeling of, I think I did it, I remember I was reading with Carolyn Pickman for the open call, which was my first ever introduction to acting, really. And I remember she gave me a note at the end of our reading, and she had said, okay, that was great, let's do it like we're in a tent in the woods. And I just remember I was like, okay, how would you do that? And I kind of hushed my voice and leaned in, and I just remember this really cool moment when she leaned in too and matched me, and I thought, oh, I just did something really right.
Cara, my understanding is that you, and this is fascinating to me since you were 12, you had seen the Royal Tenenbaums.
Yes.
So how much of Wes Anderson's work had you seen at that point?
That was most of it. That was most of it. I'm gonna be honest with you, that was most of it. I went on this rabbit hole after learning a little bit more, and so that made it a lot easier for me to get into the style that he likes, having had a little familiarity.
I mean, both of you fit into the Wes Anderson tone and style so perfectly. Do you feel like, as you recall, that came pretty naturally to each of you, or was he there really kind of helping you and guiding you from take to take?
I feel like that's a little bit of both, right? Where I feel like he selected us because we did fit in his style naturally, but then also he's so specific that really, I mean, it's gonna turn out the way he wants it to look no matter what. I feel like we understood his flow and the way he liked having the lines read. I feel like we kind of just caught on sort of as it was going, and we could read what he wanted.
As far as logistical things, given that for both of you it was your first movie, but yet so many other people in this cast were veterans even by then, much less now, did they have the two of you show up early to do some camera work, some camera tests? What all was involved with that?
Yeah, the month before filming, we would show up to Rhode Island once for like a day a week.
Yes.
I think we must have done it like 4 or 5 times maybe, but like
That sounds right.
they would have us rehearse scenes together, and then also I remember I had to learn how to use a pan and like flip a fish over an open fire. And then I also had to do kayaking lessons during those Rhode Island trips. I remember Wes had us watching movies.
Yep,
And then,
writing letters to each other.
Then we also wrote letters to each other.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah. He had us like actually completing the letters to like, because in the movie they get cut off, but then he was having us actually completing them. We were actually mailing each other.
Yeah, we were.
So we were at the mercy of
The Postal Service?
At the mercy of the Postal Service, yeah. We had the stationery too. I still have the Susie Bishop stationery and the red ink felt pens. Yeah, I still have that actually.
What are your recollections of all of the impressive people that you worked with, from Tilda Swinton and Fran McDormand to Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, Edward Norton? Did some of them spend more time with you on the set? Were others busy and were kind of off on their own? How do you remember them all?
Some of the actors we filmed more scenes with than others, so
yeah,
that's kind of a tough question.
I remember we were with Jason for a
Jason
bit.
Schwartzman,
Yeah, he
an
was
angel.
great. Yeah, he was a lot of fun to talk to.
He was very funny. He kept us kids very entertained. He kept us amused. Good guy. I still think about what would Frances McDormand do when I'm on set.
Right.
I still ask myself that. She was so nice, so on top of everything. I mean, everyone was really, really kind to us, to be honest. We had a great first experience. They couldn't have been nicer.
Was there any part of it, Kara, that was intimidating for you?
Yes.
What was most intimidating?
Oh gosh, the fear of getting something wrong was really prominent because, I mean, what's great about that is we were 12, so I think we knew that the expectations of us were 12-year-olds, but I remember one of my first couple days on set, sound asked me, and I loved the sound department, we worked together great, but I remember the first day he asked me which side the bag I was carrying would go across in terms, just for miking purposes, and I gave him the wrong side, and later on we found that out, and he said, well, you had said, and Wes immediately, no, we're not going to say you said to a kid on set. And immediately, oh, everyone was super cool. There were no problems. Sound apologized, and we became really good friends later on. But it was that kind of a moment of, oh my God, this is a job. So there's pressure, but at the same time, like I said, you're 12, so you're not really, the scope of it is a little bit beyond you, which was very helpful.
Jared, how were you feeling about the kissing scene on the beach as a 12-year-old?
Oh, I mean, I was just, excited to film it. Like, I was excited to film, like, the whole movie, really. I was just the whole thing was just, like, a real treat, just surreal dream. It's like, did that happen? Did that happen? It's just like...
Well, that was the last scene we filmed.
But yeah, but then, as for the beach scene, though, that was the last scene that we filmed together. By that point, we had kind of gotten it down. It was just, like, figuring out another scene,
I mean, I don't know about you, but I had never kissed anyone when I was 12 years old. Was that a first kiss for either of you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right?
It must be so weird to have it on film.
Oh, it was, at 12 it was bizarre, but like you said, we had been doing these, this was the last scene that we had filmed, and we'd been doing it so much that it felt kind of at this point like second nature, like, okay, let's go shoot, ready? And we were also like comfortable with each other, we'd gotten to know each other. It would have been weird if it was just thrown into the first scene, that would have been different. But at this point, there was a skeleton crew, very few people.
Barely anybody.
Yeah, so they had made it, and we had been aware for a while, so they had made it as comfortable as they possibly could.
How often do you watch the movie?
Before finding out about this, the last time I'd seen it was like right before the pandemic, because it was a screening I was invited to, but then like before that, I'm not sure. Although it's funny now is every time I've been like scrolling through the movie channels on TV, I see it.
Aw, I love that.
I haven't turned it on yet.
You're better than me. I haven't seen it since probably the last premiere of it that I went to.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know.
It's really good.
I do remember that.
Are there favorite moments that stick out? I mean, Kara, you're saying it's been a while since you've seen the finished thing, but what do you remember loving when you saw it?
I remember like the first time I saw it, I just remember the humor of it really just like hitting me in a way that like I'm not even sure like I fully realized when we were making it. But like seeing it, I was like, oh wait, this is really funny. A lot of this is really funny. And I think, you know, those like early scout scenes and then just some of the back and forths between Sam and Susie and the sort of big third act flood and chase and the church stuff. That also just brings back a lot of memories too, just of that day in the warehouse
It was an old linens and things that they had turned into a soundstage. Yeah.
Soundstage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Yes. Now that I'm thinking about it, the shots where you can see us going through the setups that they look like houses, but they were really built in a soundstage. Those are really cool. I'm going to be kind of self-centered and say any part that does not have me in it, I'm cool to watch. I can't pay attention if I'm on screen. I'm like,
that's me with
I'm a
my
child.
interviews.
Well, me too. Me too. But I can't watch myself. I don't know.
Kara, is it true that you got to keep the cat?
Yes, his name is Gino. He is home with my family right now.
He's still with us?
Yes, he's a chunky kitty now. He is a big boy. He is well fed. He has made himself pretty much my father's cat. I'm going to be honest. He is in love with my dad. He's a good boy.
Oh,
Gino's a good boy.
Does he ever pull like a little bit of a star attitude on you?
Oh God, that's all he does. Little stinker.
I remember like on set, he seemed to have a little bit of an awareness
complex.
of like when the cameras were rolling, when they weren't.
He did.
Like,
he would always start with a little pose as soon as it was kind of weird. Everyone was joking that he was made for it because he would kind of turn on the second someone said action.
and then it was
meows
like
and the whole bit.
But then like if you tried holding him, he was like it was all claws and
he's still like
biting.
that.
But then he was great for Edward Norton.
That's so funny. Yeah, he does not like being picked up still to this day. Does not care for that. But that's so funny that he was good for Edward Norton because I don't think I was there when that scene was filmed.
Yeah.
How would you say, Kara, I'll start with you, this experience helped you with anything that you've done in the years since, whether it's an acting job or just in life?
It set up my whole career for me. It taught me exactly what I wanted to do with my life. It made me feel more confident. You know, I could get out there and do this thing that I had never imagined myself doing.
Yeah, it gave me like a kind of a point of reference for just like making a movie, and then like with Kara, like it made me kind of really just fall in love with the process and like being on set and shooting scenes and all that, and made me want to really be an actor. It's responsible for the later parts that I've had, and I'm just very thankful.
What would each of you say is something that you're particularly proud that you've done since this movie came out?
I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to go with, I feel like I've really grown as an actor since. I didn't know I wanted to act when I started doing Moonrise, learned I wanted to do it, and then since it's helped me move on to a lot of other projects that I've been really proud of. And I just think it's helped me endlessly.
How about you, Jared?
I feel like every time I get a chance to work, I feel kind of proud of that. Like I just feel surreal to even be here and having just flown to LA like yesterday and seeing everything. It just was like very crazy just to think about, and so
this is the accomplishment. Yeah.
And so I'm very proud that being in Moonrise was the thing that kind of led to that happening.
Where would you each like to think that Sam and Susie are today?
Oh, I hope they wound up together. I mean, that's the whole movie, was this beautiful childhood love. I think Susie had a little hippy-dippy moment, I think, around the end of the 60s, 70s. She's a little flower child, maybe. She's got her animals and her books. She became a journalist, is what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
A writer, I don't know.
How about Sam?
It's funny, I never thought of like these, a detailed kind of like post of Moonrise life for Sam, but like at one point I had this thought that he'd probably be an artist. He'd go paint.
I write, you paint, yes.
Yeah.
I like that. Sounds like a happy, creative life for both of them.
That's what you hope.
It's so fun to meet you both, to hear these stories. I hope this conversation inspires people out there to watch Moonrise Kingdom again, because it's as beautiful today as it was when it came out. Jared and Kara, thank you so much. Great to see you both.
Great to see you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great seeing you. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. And we'll see you next time.